What's going on with the crypto crew? MicroStrategy had their earnings call yesterday, which we took part in. See you at the end. We'll talk about this before the video comes out. Saylor is going in a new direction. Check out the MicroStrategy price report that is being recorded right now. The weekly picture is what we're looking at. There's been no change. It was trading sideways when we got into this range, but now we're breaking out. How high are we going to go? Was $266 the best price in town? We'll give it to you all. Let's look at the shorter time range. To begin, let's look at the weekly. Take a look at the 4-hour. Based on the fact that we closed below the 20-day moving average, the 4-hour chart shows that prices may be about to drop. Wait, no, look back here. Also, we closed below the 20-day moving average. When you look at the trend line, keep in mind that these trends will be with you until the end. We can see that if we go back to the charts. This trend has been going strong for a long time. This morning we had a wick down. There was money coming in. We almost hit the 50-day moving average and went down. We're still taking the stairs though. This drop in prices could have been a chance to buy. In the next few days, we might see a bounce from this level, a bounce up to higher prices, most likely the MSTR cracking. Let's go over this again. Right now the time is being recorded. The price of Bitcoin has dropped to about $70,200, so things have calmed down. However, MicroStrategy's NAV is still around 2.8, which means it's still staying pretty steady against Bitcoin. Before we go any further, if you're new to cryptocurrency, you should read this. The Crypto Millionaire is the best book for beginners on how to get started with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You can get your quick download today if you're looking at charts and technical analysis 101. It's now only $15.99, so get it today. Moving on, take a look at this. We showed you Bitcoin makes the beautiful 8. Anyone in charge of a hedge fund or the stock market who doesn't know what the Mag 7 is isn't paying attention. The Mag 7 is a list of the top 7 companies and the daily trading volume for those businesses. Check out what MicroStrategy has done. The business is great. Satoshi is also being thanked by Saylor. Up to $21 billion in Class A common stock. They have basically made a deal with TD Securities to sell things. This basically means that they can buy and sell shares of their common stock for up to 21 billion, not million, Philippine pesos. This is MicroStrategy's $42 billion capital plan. It includes the $21 billion plan plus another $21 billion plan to raise more money through fixed income securities. So they talked about this on their earnings call yesterday for the last quarter. There is a chance that you will miss this boat if you don't understand what Saylor is saying. We have never seen Saylor do something like this in the history of the stock market. So you don't want to miss this. This will be written down. This plan will be taught in school. And the long term, you had to watch this clip to see what he says. He's talking about the MNAB and the extra and what he thinks about them in real life. Let's take a look. I believe this is the right time for me to make a few statements. I already told you that I believe our business is misunderstood and underrated. A lot of things have made investors worry. Concerns have been raised about our ability to get more money by selling stock and loans. As you can see from how we've done so far and our plan for 21-21, those worries are not valid. There's no reason to stop giving out instruments with set income. We are not limited by any EBITDA or other cash flow agreements that would stop us from doing that. You can see that some people have asked, can you keep doing ATMs? I think that's over. Now that we've filed $21 billion ATM. Because of the success you've seen and the new information we've gained, we're going to grow and speed up our treasury operations and efforts to raise capital. We keep learning about this market. Every 3 months we get new information. As we do this, we get a little better at it. Now I'm going to get into the big premium question. For example, what is the right premium for MicroStrategy's net asset value compared to its net asset value? Also, I want to make one clear point. We're a business that grows. We're a Bitcoin bank. And our business is growing. We are based on Bitcoin, which is an asset that grows by 50% every year. And we're growing because of that. If you look at the market for market multiples of growth companies, a 20% growth company is usually worth between 25 and 40 PE. The value of a company with 30% growth is usually between 45 and 55 PE. A company with 40% growth is sometimes worth $45 to $70 million. A company that grows by 50% is usually worth 60 to 100 times what it is worth now. Of course, Bitcoin is going up 50%. Some people think Bitcoin will grow 29% R over the next 21 years. But I don't think that's going to happen. And if you look back, you can see that it has been growing quickly by 50% every year for 4 years. What do you think about the value of BTC and how the Bitcoin fund works? Not the reserves or the bank sheet, but how much is the business worth? Also, if you think Bitcoin will grow by 30% to 50%, it's not crazy to multiply that growth by 30% to 50%. 30x to 50x means that the price is 300% higher than the net asset value. To see this in terms of the 6 to 10% goal, multiply 30 by 10. A rate of 500% is 50 times 10. So the business has a net asset value of $3 to $5 billion. And if you look at the actual capital, you can see that it's a business that could be worth $80 to $100 billion. And you could prove it by looking at this and understanding it. Our bank sheet doesn't show that these are used bills. To get the right number of terms, you would multiply a year's treasury bill that was growing at 0% per year by 20. But Bitcoin grows faster than 0% a year, so 20x is possibly too low. That's one way to go about it. You could also look at it from the point of view of the BTC game. That is what is going on here really. We can buy 12,500 Bitcoin for our shares at the same price as if we got a 5% BTC yield in the quarter. In terms of yearly value, that's about 50,000 Bitcoin. That's a gain of about $3.6 billion per year in Bitcoin. If you took an annualized gain of $3.6 billion and multiplied it by 30 to 50, you'd get an operation worth $108 billion to $180 billion. Add the extra 18 billion for Bitcoin and you get 6 to 10 times the net asset value plus the reserves. Most people in the market don't understand that, and most of the debate has been based on the idea that we're just a holding company that sometimes sells some stock and doesn't add any value to the market. I hope that by looking at these numbers, you can see that the value we bring to the market is by making high performance, high volatility securities for some investors and low volatility, low performance, low risk securities for other investors. This is possible because of the way our structure works. So in that way, we are the best. No one else has $18 billion in long-term cash. If you want to start a business like ours, you'll have to use completely Bitcoin. How do you do that on this big of a scale? If you do it with a big tech company, they'll never be 100% Bitcoin because their business is too big for that. They won't catch us if you do it with a billion-dollar business. As you can see, we're not going to slow down. We're going to try to get $10 billion in cash next year. That being said, MicroStrategy is kind of in a unique situation unless you want to raise $42 billion in the next 3 years. If you think about it that way, and I'll leave you with one more thought, and again, I don't have a crystal ball, there's risk in all of this, but you still understand our 2-1-2-1 plan.